story number one. GTA 6 trailer just got released and the internet's going wild. This is possibly the introduction of, no, I will almost certainly say this is going to be the introduction of the biggest media product ever in terms of scale, scope, cost, anticipation. Theo, I've got so much to say about this, but basically, they released a trailer, Rockstar Games. It's a continuation of their Grand Theft Auto series. Obviously, it's the sixth one, sixth major one. They've had other titles along the way. And it smashed a YouTube record and has the most views of any launch trailer to date. And it's been 4 days now, and I think it's got 128 million views, racked up a gang of views in the first 24 hours. Everybody was talking about the graphic fidelity, the fact that they got a some people still haven't gotten a PS5 after all this time. They're gonna go get one now. It's blowing up the news waves. I don't know. Have you seen this trailer?
I have, Mr. Benja. I have. I even featured it on my social media as well because of the excitement around this game, Mr. Benja. For me, I'll just talk about me. I know you have so much to talk about. As we have a celebrity guest here, Mr. Benja, who actually worked on Grand Theft Auto games in his heyday. So we
Red Dead Redemption. I worked at
Red
Rockstar.
Dead Redemption.
I never
Red
worked
Dead
on.
Redemption.
Yeah.
You never worked on it, but you were adjacent to it. And so it's close enough. Then I'm sure 99.99% of our audience closer than they ever get to the development of Grand Theft Auto. But I will just say this though, on my side, yeah, the introduction, just like anyone else, it's been around. I didn't know since 1997, Grand Theft Auto 1, but GTA 3 was the one that just blew everybody away. Just the world building is almost like you could pretty much do anything as you're a criminal, basically, right? And so you could
Mhm.
do all the worst impulses were bled into that game, and then it would really open a lot of young men's ideas and mindsets of wow, what's possible and the freedom you can achieve in a gameplay. And so I topped out at Grand Theft Auto 3, but I'm sure the other ones, 4, 5, and now 6, blowing people away. But it was just a fun game to play and do different things and just find little Easter eggs and different places you can go in the city. And so it was one of those things that just is a hallmark. And so I think probably one of the reasons why it blew up, it came out with over 25 years ago, 26 years to the date, is almost like a nostalgia player. You have folks our age and older who played it, remember playing it. They got
Mhm.
kids. The kids create the other versions, and so now everybody's super excited about a game that, let's be honest, is basically getting to the fabric and the more fabric of just almost what's it, that wish fulfillment, right? You
Yeah.
just do anything and don't care, no consequences. I would love to do it. So yeah, Mr. Benja, that's just an outsider's take on it. What are your thoughts on it from a business standpoint? Real quick, and I'll let you get into it. But yeah, that was $7.7 billion, Grand Theft Auto 5. The revenue comes from sales over 180 million units of the game. The game makes approximately 1 billion per year, just the previous. So it's almost like it prints money for the game company. Is it still Rockstar or is it a different game developer
No, still
that's
Rockstar.
doing it? Still
Mhm.
Rockstar. So it's almost like the gift that keeps on giving. So this new version of it is really going to turn heads and be a blockbuster. But yeah, Mr. Benja, what are your thoughts on just in general and high level?
High level, it's like a video game art project that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. The first game, it was top down, it was 2D, it was almost thrown away. They were trying to make a police game where you chase bad guys around, and they realized, no, it's better if you're just going around doing whatever you want because that's what people were doing at the police anyway. They were driving around doing whatever they want. So before the first game got released, it's hey, well, let's switch sides and just have us doing random missions, and it went from there, and it just kept growing. And hey, wait a minute, what if I could just steal an ambulance? What if I could actually pick up sick people while I'm in an ambulance? And the what ifs kept on building and building on top of each other. And it's become such a social phenomenon and how it can talk about culture just by being so madcap and over the top. Like a lot of people are seeing the trailer and they're like, oh, shaking ass and all this. It's just degradation of society. It's one of the most artistic pieces of media out there. The commentary that it makes is just like yeah, I'm gonna go do all this stuff. I'm gonna go mess with the cops. I'm gonna cause all this mayhem and everything. It's just an interesting expression, right? And they've got, as always, they've got people involved at a very high level with the music, the cinematography, the voice acting. It's on another level. And I think it's Rockstar always keeps growing things bigger and bigger to see just how far they can take things, just how far and how big it can go. And that's one of the things about art. It's like, how far can I go with the violence? How far can I go with the sex and nudity? What does it say that we make a game and we punish this thing, but people still keep doing it anyway? It's very weird. And it's, hey, let's push the online space. Let's have people play games with each other and race each other around in these cities. It's huge. And like you were mentioning microtransaction and subscription services that it makes $1 billion a year. I don't think people understand how this I don't think people understand who don't play the game regularly, understand how deep and engrossing these things can get. Like you start building a community, all your friends are getting online and you're going out, get 10 people, you all jump in some cars and go ride out and attack some other fools. It's just this whole community and lifestyle that's, oh, I don't want to say all encompassing, but it's seriously engrossing. Total cultural phenomenon that I don't think anybody talks about enough.
No, obviously, like I said, I've jumped out of it for a while ago. And we talk about this. The game industry is by far bigger than movies, streaming, and we don't talk about it enough. So I think it's one of those things is when we talk about culture, we just don't do enough. We don't give enough attention to video games anyway. But I can attest as being a young man myself and having an 8-year old, 7-year old, about to be 8-year old, video games are the tabula franca of young men's existence. You just
Yeah.
and then now with the app, we didn't have it growing up, but now with access to the internet and the ability to connect with people, you form these almost social connections via video games that we didn't have before. And then also the whole Twitch phenomenon, people watching people and observing things. And now that there's debate there, Mr. Benja. I just read the happiness survey and talked
Okay.
about that, where we're creating these kind of social connections. Was that really healthier for us? Because we feel like we're connected, not necessarily. True human connection is really what makes us happy. Physical connection, not the faux connections we get over dopamine hits from watching Twitch or, or talking to someone via a GTA kind of session. But I will say this though, it is something that I think people need to be aware of and understand, this is something that's just baked into society. And Mr.
Well,
Benja, it can even be bigger. Just and I'll let you get into this. I'm talking about sports, right? And then sports betting's becoming a big problem now for young men. Imagine they start incorporating that into gameplay. They already got microtransactions, but what if you can bet? And they probably are doing something like
yeah.
that. Races, they have games inside the game that people are betting on. And it becomes almost like that person's life. And is that a good or bad thing? I don't know. As art form, it does seems great as it expands and does simulate life
Yeah.
in some ways, but I question if it's something that's healthy for society.
It's a known thing that certain this is just a weird trivia. Like people in criminal enterprises will log on to games and speak to each other in code through a game and then log off. And this is it's when people talk about the metaverse, this is what we're talking about. When you've got this community, you're in a game with a virtual character taking out a phone, recording something crazy on your in-game character's phone, and that phone can kick out to the PlayStation share button. You can actually share that out into the real world, and it will probably get more likes and shares than any of your real content. But it's something you saw in a game, or not you saw, your in-game character saw and recorded on their phone. Yeah. But this one is going back to Florida, back to Miami with Vice City, and that when we did the calculations on that, made huge amounts of money, the earlier Vice City. So they're coming back to Miami, biggest land mass they've ever used. They've got all kinds of new technology, so you'll be able to Ostensibly, you'll be able to do a lot more swimming, flying. They've hinted at being able to catch and interact with animals. It's probably some technology they're pulling from Red Dead Redemption with all the animal trapping. You're out in Florida, you're gonna see a lot more animals than you would if you were in, like, New York
Oh,
or Los
yeah.
Angeles. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. As one who lives in Florida now, yes, you will see them snakes and other stuff. Mr. Benja, I just remember just a anecdote here. San Andreas, right? Just driving to the canyons, off in the
Off in the
yonder when
cliff.
nothing was out there. Yeah, and then trying to see if you can driving off the cliffs. Those are always fun.
Yeah. One quick background story, we'll finish this up. We were working on Midnight Club at Rockstar San Diego, and we had all these game modes, right? So you set up game modes where people, hey, you can see who gets to the end the fastest. You can have a slalom, or you can have a race to see who gets to the end without getting any damage. We had all these different modes, tag, king of the hill, etc. One of the most popular things we did was when we just turned on showcase mode. And that's basically people in a parking lot, they just drive up and they show off all their different cars. Dude, it was like, it's, "Hey, can we do this?" "Yeah, sure." And we just turned it on, and instantly, like, people were, like, driving up. This dude in a green Cadillac drives up, "Dog, look at my Cadillac, dog. Look at my Cadillac." And he just starts doing donuts, and everybody else in the chat room is, "Oh, man, that's fly, man. That's fly, dog. Hey, man, you gonna be out here next week?" "Yeah, man, I'm gonna try to, finish up my red Cadillac because I got a red one too." "Oh, you got a red one, dog? Oh." This would go on for hours, and I'm like, they're just sitting in a parking lot, a virtual parking lot with people you don't know from Korea, Florida, Arkansas, wherever. Throw some Canadians in there. They're talking about their Cadillacs too. It's it's phenomenal. So just a shout out to Rockstar for putting this huge endeavor together. 10 years was seven, at least I want to say 10 years in the making. I'll leave the exact date to those guys, but 10 years in the making, possibly the biggest piece of media coming in all time. We'll hear more about it later, but we got until 2025, so we'll see.